strong and all-powerful, starting with the elderly wolf uncle chapter 129. Guarding all people from sin. However, if he loses now, does it mean that peace is about to be broken and the end is coming? The gloomy atmosphere instantly enveloped the entire city. And Queen Maeve, who was still standing in place, closest to Chen Tian, looked at the motherland people deep in the ground, and looked up at Chen Tian. A flash of light flashed under his eyes. Chen Tian's strength was far beyond her expectations. In the previous contact, Queen Maeve only felt that this teenager may only have some expertise in strength. Perhaps in the face of the people of the motherland, it is still not enough to see. However, now the fact is that Chen Tian has beaten the people of the motherland in all directions, and the latter is not his opponent in any way. Doesn't that mean no one can restrict this teenager? 07 Queen Maeve's thoughts were here, and she suddenly had a new idea in her heart. In fact, in addition to the concern of the people of the motherland who hope that the other party will not affect her career, her remaining feelings are only disgust and fear. After all, the character of this guy from the motherland is too cruel, and there is no trace of humanity at all. Even Queen Maeve thought more than once that if she had the ability, she would have to get rid of this hateful fellow. Unfortunately, before that, everything could only be confined to the imagination. And now, she sees new hope, the other side, in that hideous pit between cities. The people of the motherland used their hands and feet together, and crawled out from under the dilapidated ground in great embarrassment. His heart was filled with anger against Chen Tian. But the violent impact just now also made him a little dizzy. Even if he barely climbed out, he couldn't launch an offensive for the time being. Breath one by one, call one by one. The motherland stood in place somewhat weakly, bent over with his hands on his knees, gasping for breath, and scanned the surroundings with a vague perspective. I saw countless people gathered together to watch themselves. People of the motherland, how can they lose? He actually can't beat the kid he's never met. It turns out that he is not as strong as we thought. It's too weak. Suddenly, in the ears of the people of the motherland, there was a cacophony of the masses discussing with each other. In a trance, those worried words were all filtered by him, leaving only the mocking voice that he heard. And those faces full of worries turned into a mixture of contempt and ridicule. In an instant, the expression on the face of the people of the motherland became more and more ugly and hideous. Stop, I'm going to kill him. I'm the strongest, I'm the only one, quote. He roared violently. The sound shouted in the throat turned into a series of sound waves like substance, spreading out in all directions, and the tall buildings full of cracks suddenly collapsed partially. Boom! Huge rubble hit the ground, smoke and dust rolled up, and the ground trembled. The people of the motherland came back to their senses, their eyes were red and stared at Chen Tian. At this moment, the other party was floating in the air, looking at himself condescendingly. The eyes of the people around him looking at Chen Tian were also full of fear. Wouldn't this person want to destroy our city? Motherland, can you still defeat him? These words once again reached the ears of the people of the motherland. Ah! He let out a roar. The anger that had been accumulated in his heart for a long time was instantly ignited by Chen Tian's contemptuous gaze, and by the fearful discussion of the people around him. He will not tolerate anyone and take away the glory that should be his own. The people of my motherland are the existence that should be above everything. Damn boy, death. The expression on the face of the motherland suddenly became hideous and even distorted, and the double head suddenly erupted, and they instantly stepped on the ground. The already shattered ground was directly shaken into powder at this moment. Boom. In an instant, the people of the motherland had already crossed a distance of thousands of meters and rushed to Chen Tian. The fist wearing red gloves suddenly clenched. The killing intent in the eyes flashed like substance. Rumble. A punch was thrown, and several sound barriers were even generated on the fist. Shave. In the piercing sonic boom, the fist of the motherland already carried a terrifying force that could smash even a kilometer-high mountain, towards Chen Tian's menacing bombardment. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. The trajectory of the fist was blasted out of a vacuum channel. With this punch, even the diamond will be smashed into powder. Die. The people of the motherland opened their mouths and drank angrily. Boom. However, his punch, which burst out with full strength, was easily received by the hand that had always been white as jade and had 5 slender fingers. Phew. The fierce wind created by the motherland's fist whistling towards Chen Tian at this moment. The clothes on the latter's body were all hunting. But in the eyes of the people of the motherland, the fist that should have caused great damage could not even make Chen Tian's body shake. He was horrified. It's just that the mouth has just opened, and the words have not yet come out. The next moment, Chen Tian held the hand of the motherland's fist and suddenly pulled it back. The latter suddenly felt that he had encountered a distance that was impossible to resist, and was dragging his body and falling forward. Same as this, Chen Tian's knees had already been raised. Phew, the air that was blocked in front of him as much as possible was suddenly discharged by his knees, forming a terrifying wind that rushed wildly and blew away all around. Boom. The moment Chen Tian's knee touched the belly of the motherland, even all the air within 10,000 meters was violently shaking. In the sound of the crash, a circle of aftermath wrapped in endless winds suddenly spread out, and the huge impact force generated endless strong winds, blowing all the trees on the ground to the point of almost toppling, and even some trees that were closer together had been uprooted by the wind. Even the cars parked on the side of the road were pushed to move a short distance. Fortunately, the onlookers before were too terrifying because the previous collision was too terrifying. It has retreated to a safer range. Rao was so. In the face of the oncoming huge wind, everyone had to lie on their stomachs or grab nearby weights to barely stabilize their figures. And those pictures captured by the camera are also under the wind, uncontrollable shaking. The other side. The people of the motherland only felt a severe dull pain that was enough to tear his internal organs, which instantly spread from his abdomen to his whole body, making him feel that his body was almost falling apart. He has not felt pain for more than many years. At this moment, the brains of the people of the motherland fell directly into blank, and their bodies froze in midair. Before he could react, he resumed his actions. Syllable. Chen Tian's hand had easily grabbed the back of the motherlandman's neck. Whoop and wait for the wind in the city to dissipate. The crowd of onlookers on the ground looked up again and saw Chen Tian like a doll, grabbing the motherland who had lost resistance and his body was soft. The audience was in an uproar. Nope. The people of the motherland cannot lose. First,